It's at beta, theta, I don't know, but frat parties exist.
I made a document for this.
Oh boy, okay. Welcome back, my friends. I had a lot of questions about university and U of T. What's my experience like? What's the GPA? Like, what's the best average? None of that made sense, but I get a lot of questions. I'm gonna be answering all your questions from GPA, requirements, study tips, how do I get around campus, how do I maintain a school-work-life balance. Literally every single question I've gotten, I'm compiling into this video for you because I get a lot of questions. So hopefully this is helpful. I hope to cover a lot of things that I wish that I knew going into university. So with that being said, let's get into it. Question number one, we're gonna just get right into this, guys. How hard is U of T in first year? Does it depend on your major? Okay, friends, I just want to say that every major is difficult in its own way. It's a lot of work, doesn't matter what you're studying. So like life science students, let's say, have labs and lab reports and big textbook readings, and they still have like regular lectures as well. But if we look at my English major, let's say, sometimes I'm reading a new novel every week. Sometimes I'm reading a big ass poem. You've read Paradise Lost, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's just a lot of readings, weekly essays we have, lectures and tutorials, and now with COVID, I feel like every major is experiencing like added busy work is what I'm calling it, like extra weekly quizzes and extra weekly essays. And it's just to keep us busy and make sure that we're actually doing work because we're online. I find that when we were on campus, I didn't have weekly essays or like weekly quizzes for all of my classes. Does that make sense? I also just want to say that some first year classes make it extra difficult because they want to wean out the kids who are not serious about studying that particular subject. So usually the first midterm might be super hard, but the one after that might be a little bit better because they want to like get rid of the kids who are not serious about studying that subject. First year is a little bit more difficult because everything is really general. It's not specific, everything's really up in the air. And what I mean by that is when you study like upper year classes, things get more specific. They become more like focused on a certain topic or a certain area. In first year, everything's really general, and you're just getting a taste of everything. So sometimes they might make it difficult on purpose, but as you get in older grades, it gets a little better. The next question is, what is the minimum average for U of T? And I don't want to get into like if you're coming from high school acceptances and like averages, because there are so many specific, like you need a certain grade in this class and a certain grade in this class, and I don't know all of those. However, the university, once you get here to the magical University of Toronto, the minimum GPA that you need to keep up is a 1.85, which on the U of T scale translates to about at least a 60%. I'll have a picture here of the U of T scale, and I'm gonna link a big document where I found this from. It talks about grades and it goes a little bit more in depth if you're interested about the U of T grading scale and GPAs. I will leave that link down below for you to check out for more interested. That's where I got this information from. So it's like from the university, like I'm telling you, this is legit. Does that make sense? Okay, anyways, question number 3, how do you know what courses to choose? So for me, what I would do is once you are accepted to U of T, after you've received your U Toronto ID, like to log in, it's like your UTOR ID to log in. You need to have that. It's where you log into Quarkus and Acorn and Degree Explorer with. I'm gonna leave a link to Degree Explorer down below because it is my best friend. It tells you every single class that you need to take based on your majors or your minors, whatever it is that you are taking specifically. That is your Degree Explorer. It'll tell you you need to take this class, you need to take at least a certain average in this class for this major or whatever it is. And then it'll also tell you like a general so for me, I'm getting an HBA, and so it'll tell me, it'll say like honors Bachelor of Arts and Science or whatever, and then it'll say like 20 credits, breadth requirements. And so it's really specific on Degree Explorer. I'll put some pictures up to like kind of show you what I mean, but I don't want to include like my personal info like of my classes just because I kind of want to keep that for me. But yeah, Degree Explorer is amazing. If you just Google Degree Explorer UofT, it's like the first one. And I check it all the time. There's also a planning tool that you can like plan your classes to like see when you're gonna graduate or like when you want to graduate. So yeah, it's my best friend. I literally check Degree Explorer like every day. I'm not even kidding. So the next question is, how difficult is it to navigate like around campus? And I do have a video on how to navigate around campus, how to get to your classes, how to take the subway, like what are the subways near U of T campus. So I will link that down below where I talk about my embarrassing experiences standing on the subway trying to read because it's rush hour time and people are making fun of me because I'm trying to read standing up, but I'm really like struggling. So I will leave that down below. For now, I will say that the campus will become familiar to you after the first week or two. So don't be discouraged. Like obviously the more you go, the better you'll become at finding things and like getting around campus. Just a disclaimer, I go to U of T St. George, which is the campus downtown Toronto. I just wanted to clarify that I'm downtown and I don't know about navigating those two campuses. The next question I got was pretty interesting. It was, how many hours does a school day last? And obviously university is nothing like your typical 8 to 2:30 high school time. So this really just depends on how many classes you have per day. I can't give you like an average amount of hours that I have classes or that I spend on schoolwork because it really varies every day. Some days you'll have one class for 1 hour, and then other days you could have like 5 classes back to back from each other or whatever it is, and you're in school for a long time. So this does give you a lot of spare time on some days, or some days you'll be busier. So it really just depends on what your specific schedule looks like. This next question is very concerning. It's, does the GPA system kill your chances at getting into grad school? Okay, I just want to say that if you know you want to go to grad school and you have plans post-grad, whether you want to get a master's, you want to go to medical school, you want to go to law school, you want to get your PhD after you get your master's, start working hard now and start striving for those like good grades as best as you can as early as possible, because that will like almost guarantee your chances of meeting that average you need to get into your post-grad dreams, you know? So I don't think it's impossible. A lot of people think that just because the U of T scale might be a little bit different than other universities, I don't think it's impossible to get to post-grad and where you want to go, if that makes sense. I would just recommend looking at what your post-grad requirements are and what that translates to on the U of T scale, so you know, like you get a kind of an idea of what numbers are looking like for you. Number 7, this is probably like one of the most concerning questions when it comes to U of T, and it's about social life. Does it exist? Do parties exist? I'm honestly gonna say yes, you can still have a social life. U of T is not the kind of school where, oh, you go there and you only do work. yes, it's a bit of a serious environment because university, like, it's a big scary place, but I will just say that I didn't go to many parties at all in first year, but I have friends who went. There were frat parties like all the time. I actually one time randomly got stopped in the middle of St. George by a frat guy inviting me to one of his parties, and I'm looking around because I know that I have the invitation that he gave me somewhere. I use it as a bookmark now. I'm gonna find it. Oh, it's right beside me. I'm a silly goose. See? Winter Olympics 2020. This did not get canceled. It was January. Girls were free. It's at Beta, Theta, I don't know, but frat parties exist. Just saying. But I just wanted to say that whether your social life is going to parties, drinking, you know, woo, or it's going for coffee with your friends. I did that so many times. Social life does exist, whether it's parties or hanging out with your friends in like a chill setting, like somewhere on campus. It does exist. You will not be alone. You are going to make friends and you're going to be great. The next thing that somebody asked me about was stress management. And honestly, the number one thing I have to say is plan ahead. In first year, I was a little dumb. Not dumb, but like I was a little naive. I cannot tell you how many times I wrote an essay the morning of.
I also just felt the need to include this embarrassing picture, so like, enjoy.
The morning of the day that it was due. And like, or right before a class. I think I have a Snapchat about it, to be honest, and I'm gonna insert like a video here. The morning of, I was writing my history essays, worst class ever, and we had like weekly essays all the time, and I would write them the morning of and still manage to get like a 70 or something, which if I could do it, so can you, but would not recommend because it's so stressful. I had terrible time management skills. So what I would do is at the beginning of every month, look at what's due. Do I have a midterm? Do I have essays coming up? Doesn't matter what it is. Do that at the beginning of the month. Write down all your tasks and when they're coming up. Also, give yourself time to study and take breaks if you need to. Like, once in a while, I'll just take a weekend and do absolutely nothing. I won't look at schoolwork, I won't touch anything, no readings, no nothing. So just take a break sometimes, because we all need a break. The next question is, were you able to maintain a good school life balance with U of T's workload? I spent a lot of time socializing and I didn't use enough time to study, so I feel like there is enough time to study and do work. You have a lot of spare time in university and you decide what to do with it, if that makes sense. Like, it's just a matter of, am I gonna go hang out with my friends today, or am I gonna work on this paper that's due, or whatever it is. I had enough time to do both. It's just a matter of how I chose to use that time. Like, that was my choice to be more social, if that makes sense. Or if you have classes with your friends, maybe like grab a coffee before class or something. Like, there's little ways for you to still hang out with your friends, have a bit of a social life, but also like do work. So it's just a matter of what you do with your spare time. So the last question is anything else that I think you should know. And I just want to say that you will get the hang of things eventually. I know it seems like it's gonna be challenging and scary forever, but like first year will be over before you even know it. It goes by really fast. Like, I can't believe I'm already almost halfway done university. Like, I'm gonna be finished second year this year, which is so crazy. It goes by so fast. So you will get used to it. And also, it doesn't matter if you commute or you live on residence, there's always opportunities for you to make friends and get involved. another thing that I cannot stress enough is student involvement. Join a club, join 2 clubs, do intramurals, like do something of your interest, find something of your interest. U of T has a bajillion clubs to choose from. I'm not even kidding. I will link the U of T like clubs website, I think it's a website, down below, and anything else that I think might be beneficial to you alongside all the other links that I mentioned in this video. Definitely join a club. A lot of clubs go on your CCR, which is your co-curricular record, which basically just kind of shows, which basically just kind of shows all the clubs that you were in and all the activities you participated in. So a lot of clubs like count for CCR recognition, and post-grad, if you're applying post-grad, maybe they'll look at what you have on your CCR. Were you involved? Did you do any clubs? Like, were you an active member in your university community? Your college will also have events all the time and like things going on. Even now online, there's so much stuff going on, so many opportunities for you to get involved. There's also mentorship programs that you can apply for within your college. So if you're a first-year student, apply to be a mentee, and then somebody in an upper year like me or whoever it is at your college will help you get through the year. So that's something that I think will be really beneficial to you. So with all of that being said, really do hope that this helped you, because I've been getting these questions a lot, so I figured I would just make a video about it and kind of learn from my mistakes, I guess. I don't know. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you want to be friends, hit the subscribe button and stick around. I would love if you stayed for a while. Thank you so much for watching. You're doing amazing, and I hope you have the best day, whatever it is that you're doing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.